Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you with the NFL Week 11. Well, what can I say? Just as I said in my college video, my last two pro weeks were 5-1, 8-1, and let's go 6-1 3 weeks ago. So that's a nice 19-3 the last 3 weeks in pros. College the last 2 weeks we're 12-0 and 11-1, so 23-1. So, and just go on my site, go to the history, you'll see the picks. I put my winners up there, my losers. You heard my winners last week. I gave you Seattle, which was my lock. My lock was San Diego, Seattle, both strong road dogs, and they come through in the clutch. You're betting a lot the quarterbacks and the defense, and they're both very strong there. And I didn't think Oakland or Frisco were really strong teams that they're going to blow out San Diego and Seattle. I don't know who's going to blow out Seattle. I don't even think New England can blow them out. Baltimore did beat them pretty good, but Seattle was favored at home. Had it been a road, had Seattle been the dog, it's a different mindset. So. Again, the lock last week, Seattle, San Diego, WW, and I had them in 2 or 3 teasers, and that's how you play them. This week, got one lock going with the college lock. I'm waiting on a few quarterbacks, so it's kind of tying my hands right now. Dallas, Detroit, if Stafford plays, it's over. If he doesn't play, it's the Dallas play. Jacksonville, Indy, again, if Brissett plays, it's one thing. If he doesn't play, it's either an under or a Jacksonville play. Let's see, who else? I think that's Cincinnati starting that Ryan Finley, which should be starting Quentin Flowers. I'm just thinking what other, maybe Mahomes, I'm not sure. They got him as questionable, but he didn't look like he got hurt. He played well, so I'm sure he's playing. I think they just left it out there. If you notice, if I go on Scores and Odds and I get all the casinos lines, so I'm seeing 6, 7 lines at the same time. But if you notice, they're now showing, like, they got next week's games lines already out there, and you got to relax on that because just focus on this week's games. They're trying to make it like college, right? There's now, instead of 16 games, there's 32 games, and you're looking at too much, and then it gets too much information. So you've got to settle it back down and just focus on this week, and maybe Monday night or Sunday night, you start looking at next week and going, oh, I can get San Diego as a road dog. I'm going to put it with the Monday night game, and things like that. So let me give you the game. The best game on the board is the Indy-Jacksonville game. So let's talk about that. Indy lane 3, over under of 44. Maybe it's 43, something. Well, let me check. Let's get the exact. Although it doesn't, it's by the time you watch the video and make your bet, it'll have changed. These lines are changing so quickly. Indy, it's still 44, a little 43.5, and 3. So it looks like it'll stay at 3 because they got them at 3 even. And Dallas, you don't know against Detroit. It's too early in the week. Let's get to the numbers of this game. The big thing I like is Jacksonville in the series, head-to-head, Jacksonville and Indy. Jacksonville's 10-1. Let me get you the exact numbers, but Jacksonville plays very well in this series. Since 2012, Jacksonville and Indy, and the game is in Indy. Jacksonville's 6-1. The favorite's 6-1. And if I go back to 2014, Jacksonville's 5-0 in Indy, the favorite 5-0, Indy's 4-1, the Dogs 4-1, and Jacksonville is 8-1 the last 9 against Indy. 3-0 is a favorite, 5-1 is a dog in the series, but in Indy, specifically Jacksonville is 5-0. The favorite is 5-0, and I don't know if Jacksonville's been the favorite all the time. That happens sometimes. Here you go. Back to 2008. This is what I was referring to. Jacksonville's 10-1 in Indy. Either as the favorite or the dog, it doesn't matter. The favorite is 9-2. And Jacksonville's 17-4. 5-0 is a favorite, 12-4 is a dog. So a lot of the favorites have been Indy, but they obviously play real close games because Jacksonville 10-1, and they've been the dog. They're 12-4 is the dog in this. So this is what I like about this series, is that Indy is the play. Indy plays very well in, 10-1 since 2008, 5-0 since 2014. The last 5 years. That's the reason you do the head-to-head, because you get enough flavor and they play each other enough. So not as much surprise. So let's look at the teams. Jacksonville scores 20 a game, gives up 21. Still has a good defense. They're getting used to the new quarterback. They're pretty much an under team. Indy, same thing, scores 22 a game, gives up 21. They're also an under team. I look at the numbers, Jacksonville and Indy. This year, Jacksonville 3-0 as a road dog, 6-3. Indy is 3-2 as a home favorite, 5-0 bet against as a home favorite, 8-1 bet against Indy. So Brissett comes in, he's winning some games, but they're not blowing anybody out. They're close games. I remember the stat when they played Pitt, and they said every game this year was decided by 6 points or less. So you have a team that does not blow out anybody, and Jacksonville plays very good. Jacksonville is a road dog since 18, 6-3. Okay, but Indy is a home favorite. It's 9-4, 10-3 against. Not huge numbers, not what I like to see, but it works here. Now, if I go back to 17, Jacksonville's 12-3 as a road dog, 80%, 9-6 against. So they play very well as a road dog. And Indy is 11-4 as a home favorite, 12-3, 80% against. So that's really where the trends are popping in. So you have, well, let's look at the quarterbacks. My favorite thing. So we come down to the quarterbacks. And now this is the thing. Jacksonville is starting Gardner Minshew, 9 games, 61%, 253 yards a game, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This guy doesn't, he's very productive, 13-4. He's not throwing it around. And if I look at Indy's quarterback, Brissett's very good. He's 14 touchdowns and 3 picks. But I don't know that he's playing. Brian Hoyer in 2 games has 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. We're all rooting that Brian Hoyer plays, but even if Brissett plays, it's not a blowout. I think the only difference is you might play the under a little stronger with Hoyer, but I still think, especially with Hoyer, I'm taking Jacksonville as the dog. They own this series. They're a strong road dog. Indy plays every game close, and you have that. Let me just give you this quick stat for all you Baker Mayfield people. Here's the problem with Cleveland. 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Let's look at, Russell Wilson. 22 touchdowns, 1 interception. And that's about all I need to say there. That's the difference between a really good quarterback and a really bad quarterback. You give them, Odell Beckham. Well, how did the Giants do with Odell Beckham? Did they ever win the Super Bowl or go to the playoffs? No. He made one lucky catch with one hand, but then I'm watching college games and the guys are making one-hand catches. Charles Woodson made a one-hand catch for Michigan. We're talking about Michigan State, and there was the game he made a one-hand catch. So It's not that difficult if everybody and their mother can do it. So Beckham gets all this credit for making a one-hand catch that basically is not a big deal. I played baseball, and I was playing outfield, and there was a line drive, and I dive for the ball, right? And I watch the ball, and I catch it. And I'm parallel, and I catch the ball. It was a very easy catch. I watch because I played a lot of football too. So I'm watching the ball, and I see it, and hand-eye coordination, and I catch it. It's no big deal to make like one of these parallel diving catches. It's very easy, actually. And it just amazes me when they get all excited. Oh, what an incredible catch! I'm like, it's nothing. It's really, I can do it. It's nothing. Um, but that's what I see. So again, I'm waiting on some quarterbacks. Dallas, Detroit's either an over or Dallas, depending on Stafford. Looks like he might play. The line shot to 6, and now it's back to 4. So I think Stafford. I'll be surprised if he doesn't play, but if he doesn't play, if he does play, it's an over game. Dallas just doesn't have the defense, but if he doesn't play, then Dallas will win the game. Be careful of New Orleans, Tampa. Tampa owns the series. Tampa's 9-1 is the Dogs, 7-0 the last 7. So be very careful. New Orleans and Tampa last week. New Orleans and Atlanta. The numbers were all Atlanta, and it's hard to bet Atlanta, but I stayed away from New Orleans, which is just as important. It's like folding in poker. You might not win the hand, but you didn't lose another 200-300 on a bad bet or chasing. So, when you see a bad formula, when you see everything's on Cincinnati, or on, on Atlanta, as bad as Atlanta is, you got to watch that. Atlanta, Carolina this week, it's all Carolina, so I look for Carolina to get back. But again, you're betting on really weak quarterbacks who don't have a lot of experience. In the first 4 or 5 games, the defenses haven't seen them yet. That's why they kind of start out. You watch this Daniel Jones on the Giants. All right, first few games, they haven't seen him. He likes to run, unlike Eli. Now they're getting film on him. Now it's going to get tougher and tougher for him to do anything. And I don't think he's all that good. So you just like Denver's got a new quarterback for Flacco. Washington, I can't believe they're starting the Ohio State guy. I mean, he's not any good at all in there. I can't believe they're favored. So definitely like the Jets in that one. I mean, as bad as I don't like Arnold, you can't bet Haskins. I mean, the guy doesn't know what he's doing out there. He's already got like 4 interceptions and no touchdowns, and he only played 2 games. So, anyway, so that's what I see. New England, I'm going to watch that game. I'm not going to bet them against Philly. I'm not comfortable with New England right now against good teams on the road. Against poorer teams, they'll blow them out, as you've seen. But the way they looked against Baltimore, I'm going to wait and see, and let's see what they do against Philly. I think New England wins every game, but I'm not on them. And the Rams and the Bears, I'm scratching my head going, I honestly have no idea to take either team or either over or under in the Rams, because I don't know, are they going to be good defensive teams? Is it going to be a defensive game, an offensive game, a high scoring or a low scoring? Are the Rams so much better than the Bears, or are the Bears? And the Bears are pretty bad. Of course, the Lions make everybody look good. So that's how hot I was. I had the Lions because it was a dog series against Chicago, like 19-2. So I got the Lions in 9, and then Stafford goes out. Now what am I going to do? I already got the bet. The game's already on the website. I can't. Oh, okay, guys, he's hurt. We can't play it. So I ended up taking Chicago minus the 3.5. Sort of a reverse trap. Normally you trap the second game. In that situation, I had to trap the first game and say, all right, the Bears will probably kill them. Take the Bears. Straight, though. Don't tease it. And if maybe we'll get lucky in Detroit. I'll stay within 9, which is exactly what happened. The second half of the teaser was Minnesota in 9. It was just beautiful. So I was going to bet Minnesota, Seattle if Detroit lost because it was a night game. But Detroit won, so now I got Minnesota alive. I had Seattle with San Diego and Louisiana Lafayette and a few other teams, so I had enough Seattle. And so that's the thing. When I love that Seattle game, it's 2 or 3 teasers. That's how you bet teasers. It's hard. It's not easy to pick the, it's very hard to go 4-0. So you've got to look for the one team that gives you that edge. And once you find it, you put it in 3 or 4 teasers. You've got half your teaser won with the one team. San Diego last week, Seattle, LSU. That's it. Now you just find the other half. Now you put them together. I'm going to put LSU with Seattle, LSU with San Diego. And then it really becomes very profitable because now you're only picking 3 or 4, let's say 4 strong games, but you got them in 4 or 5 teasers. So now the 4 strong games come through, and now that's really the way to bet a teaser. I get frustrated with some of my customers where they're listening to other handicappers, and I don't care, but knock on my door going, well, if somebody else gave me Chicago, what do you think? And then I'd give you my opinion, and then if they match, I would bet it. If they don't match, I might lay off. I know what I'm doing, and this is an art, not a science, and not a trend. I can't just take trends and do it. Most of the guys are salesmen, don't know what they're doing. And when I hear my customer, oh, I got a lot on this team, I'm like, where'd you get that team from? I didn't give you that game. And they, and it's just, it's insane. I mean, it's like you throw your money and trust somebody. Me, I'm telling you, and I'm giving you explanation, and I've been doing it, and if you watch my videos, we're probably 90% this year. Right? Last week, what I gave you a lock. I gave you San Diego or Seattle, and I gave you LSU. Boom, winners. Week before, winners. Week before. Very rarely do I give you a loser on the video, and I'm proving it to you. So that's why when Joe Blow over here gave me, Cincinnati, and you're like, what the hell are you? And you don't even ask me about it. Like, well, if you don't trust me, I'm proving it. If you don't trust me, fine. I can't stop that, and you want to pay other people, that's fine, but you better pay people that know what they're doing. It's just like your stockbroker, your accountant, your lawyer, other people. If you don't trust them, or your doctor, or your dentist, you don't trust them and they don't know what they're doing, you're going to get screwed up. Or a guy that you can trust, and that's all business, and what I do and everything is trusting the person knows what he's doing. That's the guy I want to listen to. He's the guy, just because I have a few bad weeks early, it's the same theory. LSU over Alabama, they win, but when I bet 2 similar teams in week 3 that loss, it doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. It's just different. This one came through, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to come through. But I don't know. People just they don't get it. So I try to be patient with them. Anyway, have a great weekend. Good luck to everybody. One lock already posted, and I'm looking for another huge week. Pro in college. A lot of big plays. And the pros will be delayed a little bit. I would say by Friday I will know, like, is Stafford playing? Is what's going on in Denver? I think I got Washington. Some of these other games I'll have a more definitive injury report, so I can then go, he's like Indy. If Brissett's not playing, I might lock Jacksonville. If he is playing, then I probably won't lock him, but that determines the lock. Is the court, like Stafford was out, I would have locked Chicago, but I couldn't. It was already Sunday, and I've already got my lock buyers, and they've already bet the lock, San Diego, Seattle, so I can't add it Sunday mid-morning as a lock. I don't know if they're going to get it or not, so so it makes it hard that last second. Had it been Saturday, had I known he was out Saturday, I could have locked it Saturday. And then they would have come in Sunday morning, saw the lock, and off they went. Anyway, good luck, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Should be a huge week. On a huge roll the last 2 weeks. Looking to make it 3 in a row, run the table. The wizard is back. Thank you, everybody.